If you are claiming housing benefit or the universal credit housing element right now, there is a very real chance you are getting the wrong amount today. Not slightly wrong, not a few pence wrong, but potentially hundreds of pounds wrong every single month, and the DWP is not going to tell you about it. Millions of UK renters are currently receiving less housing support than they are legally entitled to because of errors, mistakes, and rules they simply do not know exist. And here is what makes this situation even worse. Most of these errors have been going on for months or even years without anyone noticing them at all. This video is going to show you exactly why your housing benefit or UC housing element might be wrong and exactly how to check and correct it today. By the time this video ends, you will know every major reason why your housing support could be calculated incorrectly and what to do about each one immediately. Let us start with the single most important thing you need to understand about how your housing support is calculated, because most renters have this completely wrong. Your housing benefit or UC housing element is not simply your rent. It is capped at something called the local housing allowance rate for your area. The local housing allowance, or LHA, is set by the DWP at the 30th percentile of local market rents in your specific broad rental market area right now. In plain English, this means the LHA is designed to cover the cheapest 30% of rental properties of the right size in your local area today. This also means that 70% of private rental properties cost more than the LHA rate. And if yours does, you may have a shortfall to cover yourself. But here is the critical thing. Your LHA rate depends entirely on your bedroom entitlement, and getting the bedroom entitlement wrong is one of the most common errors. Your bedroom entitlement under LHA is calculated based on who lives in your household using specific government rules about who needs their own bedroom legally. You are entitled to one bedroom for yourself as a single adult, or for you and your partner if you live together as a couple in your home. You are entitled to one additional bedroom for each child who cannot share with another child because of age or disability or medical reasons recognized by the rules. 2 children under 10 years old are expected to share a bedroom regardless of gender under the current LHA bedroom entitlement rules that apply right now. 2 children under 16 of the same gender are also expected to share a bedroom under the bedroom entitlement rules that the DWP applies to your claim. If the DWP has calculated your bedroom entitlement incorrectly, you could be receiving a lower LHA rate than you are legally entitled to receive every single month. For example, if you have 2 children of different genders, aged 9 and 12, you should be entitled to a 2-bedroom rate, not a 1-bedroom rate today. Check your Housing Benefit Award letter or your UC statement right now and compare your bedroom entitlement with the actual composition of your household today. If the bedroom entitlement on your claim does not match your actual household, you may be underpaid, and you can formally challenge this with a mandatory reconsideration today. Now let us talk about the non-dependent deduction, because this is the error that is silently taking money from thousands of renters every single month right now. If an adult lives in your home who is not your partner, the DWP assumes that person contributes to your housing costs and automatically deducts money from your claim. This is called a non-dependent deduction, and from April 2026, the standard deduction amount is exactly £96.55 every single month. Nearly £100 being automatically removed from your housing support every month, and in many cases, it is being applied when it absolutely should not be. The non-dependent deduction should not be applied if the non-dependent person is under 18 years old and not in full-time paid employment today. It should not be applied if the non-dependent is receiving universal credit without earnings, or receiving income support or income-based job seekers allowance themselves. It should not be applied if the non-dependent is receiving pension credit guarantee credit, which is a specific benefit that provides a full exemption from this deduction. It should not be applied if you, as the claimant, receive attendance allowance, disability living allowance care component, or personal independence payment daily living component. If you receive any of those disability benefits yourself, the non-dependent deduction should not be applied to your claim regardless of who lives in your home right now. Check your UC statement or Housing Benefit Award letter right now for any non-dependent deduction entry and verify whether the exemption rules actually apply to your situation. If a non-dependent deduction is being applied incorrectly to your claim, you are losing nearly £1,200 every single year, and you can get it corrected today. Contact your local council housing benefit team or report through your Universal Credit Journal immediately to have the incorrect deduction removed and any arrears calculated. Now let us talk about the under 35 rule, because this is the rule that surprises more renters than almost any other and costs young people enormously today. If you are a single person under the age of 35 renting privately, you are restricted to the shared accommodation LHA rate under the current rules today. This means you only receive housing support equivalent to renting a room in a shared house, even if you live alone in your own private rented property right now. The shared accommodation rate is significantly lower than the one-bedroom rate, and the difference can be hundreds of pounds per month depending on your local area. However, there are important exemptions from the under 35 shared accommodation rate that many eligible people are not claiming and never even knew existed today. If you are a care leaver under the age of 26, you are completely exempt from the under 35 shared accommodation rate and get the one-bedroom rate instead. If you have lived in a homeless hostel refuge or other supported accommodation for at least 3 months, at any point you are exempt from the shared accommodation rate. If you are a former rough sleeper who has been recognized as rough sleeping by a local authority, you may also be exempt from the shared accommodation rate today. If you have a severe disability recognized by receipt of certain disability benefits, you may be exempt from the shared accommodation rate and entitled to more support. If any of these exemptions apply to you and you have been receiving the shared accommodation rate, you may have been significantly underpaid for months or years right now. Contact Citizens Advice or check the official UK guidance on LHA exemptions immediately, because the backdating rules mean you could recover significant arrears very quickly. Now let us discuss the benefit cap, because this is silently reducing housing support for thousands of renters who do not fully understand what is happening to their claim. The benefit cap is an overall limit on the total amount of benefits a working-age household can receive, and it directly reduces your housing element if you exceed it. For 2026 to 2027, the benefit cap is frozen for the third consecutive year, meaning it has not risen while rents and other costs have continued to increase significantly. As other benefits have risen with inflation around the frozen cap, more and more households are being pushed above the cap limit each year without realizing it is happening. But critically, there are important exemptions from the benefit cap that could completely remove it from your claim if they apply to your household right now. You are exempt from the benefit cap if you or your partner are working and net earnings exceed approximately £793 per month after tax. You are exempt if your UC includes the limited capability for work-related activity element, which is the LCWRA element for people with serious health conditions or disabilities. You are exempt if you or your partner receive carer's allowance, or if your universal credit includes a care element for looking after a disabled person today. You are exempt if you receive a qualifying disability benefit at the relevant rate, such as the enhanced daily living component of personal independence payment right now. A 39-week grace period also applies if you or your partner recently stopped working after at least 50 weeks of continuous employment anywhere in England. If you think you may be exempt from the benefit cap, but it is still being applied to your claim, contact the DWP or Citizens Advice immediately to get it corrected. Now let us talk about the ESA housing benefit underpayment scandal, because this is something that has affected thousands of renters, and many of them still do not know. The DWP has identified approximately 22,500 cases of renters who received less housing benefit than they were entitled to between 2011 and 2019. This happened because of an error in employment support allowance calculations that incorrectly reduced the housing benefit these claimants were entitled to receive from councils. One renter who was affected received almost £20,000 in backdated arrears after her case was reviewed, and the error in her claim was finally identified. If you claimed ESA and housing benefit between 2011 and 2019 and were moved from incapacity benefit, severe disability allowance, or income support, you may be affected. Contact the DWP on 0800 169 0346 right now if you think you may be affected by the ESA housing benefit underpayment error and have not yet been contacted. Now, let us talk about what happens when your rent changes, your household changes, or your income changes during an existing tenancy, and how these changes affect your claim. Any change in circumstances that could increase your housing support must be reported to DWP or your council immediately, because they will not automatically discover and apply it. If your rent has increased since your claim was last assessed, your LHA should be recalculated even though the LHA rates themselves are currently frozen for this year. If a non-dependent has moved out of your property, the non-dependent deduction should be removed immediately, and your housing support should increase from the following Monday. If you have had a child since your last bedroom entitlement assessment, your bedroom entitlement may have increased, and your LHA rate should be reviewed accordingly today. If your disability status has changed and you now receive a qualifying disability benefit, you may become exempt from the non-dependent deduction or benefit cap simultaneously. If your earnings have dropped below the benefit cap threshold, you may become subject to the cap for the first time, so always check when income changes significantly. Every change in circumstances should trigger a review of your housing benefit or UC housing element to make sure you are receiving exactly the correct amount you deserve. Here is your complete action plan based on everything you have heard in this video And please take every single step today because this is about your money right now. Step 1. Check your bedroom entitlement on your claim against your actual household composition and report any discrepancy through your UC journal or to your counsel today. Step 2. Check your claim for any non-dependent deduction and verify carefully whether the person in your home actually meets the criteria for a deduction to be applied. Step 3. If you are under 35, check whether any of the shared accommodation rate exemptions apply to you and claim the higher one-bedroom rate if they do. Step 4. Check whether the benefit cap is being applied to your claim and verify whether any of the exemptions mean the cap should not be applied to you at all. Step 5. If you claimed ESA and housing benefit between 2011 and 2019, call the DWP on 0800-690346 to check whether you were affected by the underpayment error. Step 6. Report any change in your circumstances to DWP or your counsel immediately because positive changes that increase your entitlement are never applied automatically. Step 7. Use the free benefits calculator at ENTITLEMENT.co, UK, or turn2is.org, UK, to independently check what your housing support should actually be based on your current situation. Citizens Advice at citizensadvice.org. UK offers completely free expert help with housing benefit and UC calculations and can help you challenge any incorrect assessment today. Shelter at shelter.org. UK also provides free specialist housing benefit advice and can help you understand exactly what you should be receiving based on your circumstances. The official LHA rates for 2026 to 2027 are published on Gov. UK, and you can check exactly what your rate should be for your area and bedroom entitlement right now. Every pound of housing support you are entitled to but not receiving is money leaving your household every single month, so please check your claim carefully today. The DWP and local councils make errors more often than most people realize, and it is your responsibility to identify those errors and formally request corrections today. You have the right to ask for a mandatory reconsideration of any housing benefit or UC housing element decision that you believe has been calculated incorrectly against you. A mandatory reconsideration is completely free to request and must be submitted within 1 month of the decision that you believe is wrong or has changed incorrectly. If the mandatory reconsideration does not resolve the error, you have the right to appeal to an independent tribunal, which is also completely free to use today. Share this video right now with every renter you know because millions of people across the UK are receiving the wrong housing support amount and have no idea about it. If you found this video helpful, please like it right now because it genuinely helps thousands more renters find this information and check their own housing benefit today. Subscribe to UK Housing Alert and hit the notification bell so you never miss an important housing benefit or tenant rights update that could directly affect your money. We cover housing law, benefit rights, deposit protection, and landlord rules every single week in plain, simple English so you always know exactly where you stand today. Your housing support is calculated by rules, and those rules can work in your favor if you know them, so please check your claim and correct any errors right now. UK Housing Alert is here every single week, making sure every renter in England knows exactly what they are entitled to claim and how to make sure they get it. Many renters do not realize that housing benefit and UC housing element errors can be backdated, meaning a successful correction could result in a significant lump sum payment. If your bedroom entitlement has been wrong for 12 months and you are corrected to a higher LHA rate, you may receive 12 months of arrears in one payment. If a non-dependent deduction has been wrongly applied for 2 years and is removed, you could receive over £2,000 in backdated arrears from your counsel. Always ask explicitly whether any correction to your housing support can be backdated to the date the error began, because counsels do not always volunteer this information. The mandatory reconsideration process is the official way to challenge a housing benefit or UC housing element decision that you believe has been calculated incorrectly today. When requesting a mandatory reconsideration, always put your challenge in writing and keep a copy of everything you send to the DWP or local council for your records. Include as much specific detail as possible in your mandatory reconsideration request because vague challenges are much more likely to be rejected without proper consideration. Cite the specific rule you believe has been applied incorrectly and explain exactly why you believe the correct calculation should produce a different higher amount for you. If your mandatory reconsideration is rejected, you have 1 month from the decision to submit an appeal to the first-tier Social Security and Child Support Tribunal. The tribunal process is completely free and independent from DWP and local councils, and it has overturned incorrect benefit decisions many thousands of times across England. Renters who are approaching pension age should note that housing benefit rules differ from universal credit rules and may actually produce a higher entitlement in some cases. If you are within 3 months of state pension age check, whether switching to pension credit and housing benefit rather than universal credit would give you a higher amount. Pension credit claimants automatically receive the maximum housing benefit for their circumstances, which can be significantly higher than what UC housing element would provide them. Renters with disabilities should make sure every qualifying disability benefit they receive is correctly recorded on their housing benefit or UC claim, as it affects the calculation significantly. Some disability premiums in housing benefit calculations are very easy to miss, and if your disability premium has not been applied, your housing benefit could be significantly underpaid. If you receive personal independence payment, disability living allowance, or attendance allowance, make absolutely sure these are correctly recorded on your housing support claim today. Renters who are carers should check whether their carer's allowance or the carer element in their UC claim has been correctly factored into their housing support calculation. The carer premium in housing benefit or the carer element in universal credit both affect your housing support calculation and are commonly missed or incorrectly applied today. Working renters on low incomes should use the benefits calculator at ENTITLEMENT UK because you may qualify for significant housing support even with regular employment income. Many working renters assume they do not qualify for any housing support when in reality the income thresholds for UC housing element are much higher than they expect today. Go to ENTITLEMENT UK right now, spend 5 minutes completing the free calculator, and find out exactly what housing support you should be receiving based on your real circumstances.